Your everyday human who exactly that, they're looking to use fitness as a tool to better their life, but not looking to spend their life in the gym. So our programs very much are catered towards those 2 to 3 hours per week, and very important to us that we represent all body shape sizes. If someone to get started, you want to set out what the visuals look like that represent who you are.
Owning a gym is hard. Owning a 7-figure gym is really hard. Owning a profitable 7-figure gym is insanely hard. Owning a profitable 7-figure gym that allows you to travel for 6 to 8 weeks out of the year and do brand deals on the side, that is cream of the crop.
Hello and welcome to Gym World Worldwide. I am your co-host here, Mateo Lopez. Joining me as always is John Franklin. And we have a very special guest today, a repeat, not offender, but a repeat guest, we're running it back. It's Throwback Friday. Cassie Day of All Day Fit. She's here today to talk about, how can we get
Reality
peace in the Middle
TV.
East? Yeah, how do we get peace in the Middle East? And reality TV, is it the answer? That is a topic of today's discussion. And I just can't wait. Cassie, how are you today?
I'm amazing. Happy Friday. Excited to be here.
When
was the last time I was here?
You weren't allowed to talk about The Amazing Race Canada, but now it's out. And as our first reality TV star on the show, tell us what it was like. Give us.
Am I actually the only one? I feel like you had someone else who's on reality TV. No?
David Tao was once pitched, and I think Mark was once pitched, but I think those are the only people who are Hollywood adjacent.
Imagine seeing Mark Fisher on television. That would be
Well, they were going to do a reality TV show of his gym. That was what they pitched him. They wanted to do it of Mark Fisher Fitness and just kind of like do that.
I always wanted to do one about CrossFit. Yeah, that was my dream.
Was your dream or still your dream? Anything can happen on Throwback Friday. You never know. You never know. You never know who's listening.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's producers, anyone out there, there's a gym that's for sale in the Lower East Side of Manhattan that is ripe, probably still, for great content. There's what is it? Humans of New York. We could do Humans of Bowery CrossFit, and I think it would be great. Yeah.
I don't know. Are they still Bowery CrossFit?
That's the content ideas.
Well, we're going to talk all about content ideas.
Hey.
Where are you, do you ever spend any time at home? That's my first question.
This is my home.
Yeah, she does content all the time about here's how I wake up, and I do affirmations, and I have this beautiful routine and how I'm going to seize the day. She's
I have
at
never
home.
Really?
done that.
This is like Mexico. This is Mexico.
That's true.
What is this one? Where's
Also
this?
Mexico.
Okay.
Well, I was in Mexico for 2 full weeks, so
There you go. You're out doing, I don't know what.
that was at a sick Porter event where they gave every single person a free flight at the end of it. That was an epic day.
You just got a free
Free
thing.
flight?
I went to a Christmas party in my neighborhood. That's the most exciting thing that happened since I talked to you. What is this? Is this what your house looks like?
I wish that was a studio for an event.
Studio for an event. Okay. And then what is this? This
A Barbie
relaxing
Christmas.
Yeah. Oh wait, is that Mexico again? This is a
This is
video.
Mexico
Tayo's
again.
This is
talking
the
about.
video I thought of. This is the
Yeah,
one I was
this
thinking
is
of.
this is in Mexico, of course.
Oh, okay.
This
so
is in
then
Mexico. It was a brand partnership.
I assumed that because I saw the gym, I just assumed that was you waking up every day. That's how you wake up.
Here she is in a hot air balloon.
That's
But you own that hot air
lifetime
balloon,
high.
right? You
Yeah,
own
that's how
that
I
hot
get
air
to the
balloon.
gym to and from.
That's how you.
That's my
yeah.
grandmother.
You're eating seafood in New Brunswick.
Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick.
And then what is this?
Yeah, that's New
Where are we here?
Brunswick.
Okay, yeah. So are we? Maybe we shouldn't talk about content. Maybe we should talk about lifestyle engineering.
Yeah, my bad. I thought you waking up with the robes was at your house. I didn't realize it was your second Mexico
Oh, here's
house.
Greece. Here's Greece. This is all within a span of 4 or 5 months. So I guess business is going well. I guess
So this is what happens. In 2023, I was committed to taking 3 2-week trips. I think I took like 36 flights in 2023.
Committed
but those
by
trips,
who? Yourself, your peers, work?
What, the 2-week trips?
Yes.
They were for myself to actually take true breaks away from my company this year.
Oh, wow. You made that promise when in
did it.
2022? That was a resolution or what?
I made it at the beginning of the year when I set goals for myself for the year.
Yeah.
And I almost bailed on the last one in Mexico because I was like, I don't need a break. And then I went.
Yeah.
It was the best thing to happen for everyone in my life, including myself. We all need breaks.
Yeah, like it looks like you're in a significantly better place than you were 6 months ago, just based off your Instagram, which is a 100% depiction of reality, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how it goes. Wait, when was I on the show last time? When was that?
It was pretty early in the game. Would have been the beginning of the year sometime.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was last on the show, I actually gave you a sneak peek into our content, which was like in some ways like 2 years solidified, but also in some ways completely brand new. So the really good thing is it's been a full year and it's still going strong.
You, at the time, the big thing is you had just hired someone to manage All Day Fit's content for you. Have you fired them yet?
No, she's just doing an amazing job.
All right, so let's go over here. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. One of the things that I'd mentioned a lot is your planning process. So you told us the number one mistake you see gym owners making is they just wake up in the morning and try and figure out what it is they're going to post for the day. And so that was like the number one thing that leads to burnout, inconsistent, crummy content. And we're like, what should you do instead? And you blew us away because you had like such a high level strategy. Let's walk through it again for people who didn't listen the first time. And you can explain to us how you approach social media, then also selling from social media.
Okay, amazing. So basically what we do, we run All Day Fit in 12-week cycles, but our content cycle specifically, we call it a microcycle, 4 weeks. So in week number 1 of our content cycle, we brainstorm. In week number 2, my lead of content solidifies all of the ideas and comes up with a plan. In week number 3, we collectively film that content together as a team. And then in week number 4, we ensure everything's pieced together, captions are written, and then everything goes from us as a team over to my head of content. Her name's Sarah, who actually does the managing and all of the posting, etc.
How long does it take to film all that week of filming? Like, how long are you spending each
2
day?
hours.
That's what I figured.
2 hours
2
for
hours.
the entire week. Okay.
For the entire month, 4 weeks.
Hold on. You do the whole month in 2 hours?
Yes.
All right.
So
walk us
basically-
through like a batch. Where's like a week starting point that we could kind of pull up for the viewers? If you are listening, we'll try and explain what we are seeing, but this is an episode best served on YouTube because Instagram is where Cassie does her best work. And so seeing it is very beneficial because it looks really good. It's like head and shoulders above what a lot of other gyms are putting out there. And is it still the case that this is the only form of marketing you do for the gym?
It's the only organic form of marketing that we do. Other than this, our other strategy is grassroots, where we work on building relationships with people who live within our surroundings. But yes, that's our only tactic.
All right.
Which is
so
like
let's find
good thing and a terrible thing all at the same time.
Why? Why is it terrible?
Well, I'm sure that there are definitely other ways that could be optimizing, but it's working for us and it works really well.
Is the gym still about the same size, or are you doing more revenue than you were when we talked before?
Well, we grew 9% in 2023. So I would say we've grown since we talked.
Very nice. So have you passed you're like right around the 7-figure threshold. Are you past there now?
We have just slid over it.
Wow.
I know,
Congrats.
dude. We celebrated back in September.
7-figure gym owner. Should put that in the bio.
I'll share my screen to it'll be easier for anyone. So look how excited I'm getting.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit of it's nothing formal. This is just to help our team understand kind of what's happening. So you can see our 12-week cycle on the left-hand side where it breaks out those 12 weeks. And then you can see program 1, program 2, program 3. Basically, that just means month 1, month 2, month 3. So everything happens in this 12-week cycle, but like I mentioned, the content's in a 4-week cycle. So you can see, I hope this makes sense. Phase 1, everything under it, is the content from vision to creation. Then if you look under phase 2, it's where my head of content is actually working on brainstorming further ahead. And then phase 3 is the content that's actually going live. So if you look in the pink, you can see pink is program 1. Under phase 1, my team is thinking about, actually, let's go like this. From week 1 to 4 in our cycle, my team is thinking, brainstorming already for content 2 months ahead. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So in January, you're brainstorming in March.
We're brainstorming March. And then
so this like week 1, there's a box, there's a spreadsheet with a bunch of different colors on it. And I think the color is associated with like the phase. So the content moves with the color here. So you have that like lime green one for week 1 of 12. So you're brainstorming. When it actually goes live, it's week 9 of 12, right?
Exactly.
Where it says phase 3 at the bottom. Okay. Cool.
Exactly.
All right. We're with you.
And then how we get into more detail of that. Where is this one? Oh, it's in a share screen. So then you can see of that actual content. This is the back end. You see a calendar, right? Yeah. So then my head of content, who's Sarah, she actually goes in. This gets a bit more zoomed in. So now she's actually planning out in program 1, program 2, program 3, so month 1, month 2, and 3 of fall, what exactly is going to go live from an event standpoint, through email marketing, through our text marketing platform, through social static, through social team stories, through plan stories, and then organic stories. And then also now TikTok, which is just sliding there slightly. So everything is mapped out. You'll see she makes it green when it happens. And then she makes it orange if it happened, just got moved to a slightly different day. And then there might be some red. Some reds are when it didn't happen.
Why would it get cut?
It could get cut maybe because something didn't get submitted, or basically she's not liking the aesthetic of the feed. What the feed looks like is very important, obviously from an aesthetic standpoint and also from a body representation standpoint. So if we see too many people who are small bodied and young and white and able bodied, we're then going to shift and change, and she might cancel it and put it on another month, a couple months ahead.
And what does Sarah get compensated for this? And how is it like divvied up besides, does she coach as well, or does she do front desk as well? Or you don't have a front desk, but does she coach as well?
What does she know about gym management software? And how does she feel about getting paid in US dollars, you know?
Oh, I wasn't going there.
I'm going to make sure Sarah doesn't listen to this episode.
Yeah, I was not going to go there, but actually it's a good question. So yeah, I also want to know that.
So Sarah actually didn't build the system, because myself and my previous marketing specialist did. But Sarah came in and has effectively ran this system since then flawlessly, which is amazing. A bit more detail you can see here. So basically, my coaching team, in our team huddles on Wednesdays, we will go in and we will come up with a brainstorm. From the brainstorm, then Sarah will go into detail and map out which each person on the team is responsible for completing, what the concept is. Look, it's all X'd out, which is good. That means it was done. What the concept is, what the inspo is, what else is on here? Exactly what's important for posting, shot list, etc. So when I said a whole program, a whole month is filmed in 2 hours, it's because Sarah has literally mapped out the exact inspo, the exact shot list, etc. for that time. So 2 people can hand off making 3 to 4 pieces of content easily in 2 hours together.
Yeah, that's sweet. But I want to know what you pay her for this.
Oh, I pay her for this? Yeah. So she actually, I don't mind sharing.
Sorry, let me clarify. No, yeah, I want to know like how much of this is her full time, like how is her work divvied up? Like how much of is this her job plus coaching is also her job, or other things are also her job? And then how does her pay, how's her pay structure for all those responsibilities?
So she was always a full-time coach, and she is someone who isn't naturally, or actually doesn't want to, also able to handle a full-time roster of like 30 plus hours on the gym floor. It takes a lot of energy to be able to do that. She loves the industry. She loves all day fit. So kind of, she sat down and we talked about it. And she was like, I want to have part business role, part coach role. And previous to Sarah, one of the areas of opportunity we noticed is I was hiring marketing specialists who actually didn't have a background in training. It was taking more time and energy to teach my marketing specialists the right things to say, or the right things to say, I guess, that we were like, the smartest thing we could do is to put a coach in this role. And naturally wanting to promote someone who's in the team, we offered her the role on a super small scale. So we called her, she was a trainer and then the head of coach content. So it started super small, where basically all she would do was create the 4-week calendars. That started, she was doing a stipend of a lead role, I would say 5 hours a week at $25 an hour. I forget, that was over a year ago. We've slowly grown that role over the year. And now I would say Sarah, maybe $2,000 of her coaching wage last year came from her business role. So I would say she's up to the point where before it was a simple 5 hours a week. And now it's coming up to be close to 50-50, but not quite. Hopefully by the end of the year, she'll be doing 50-50.
2,000 a month is what you're saying. So she spent so half her times on the floor, half her times doing
nice. So people, if they want to get started, they just, you started with just an hourly kind of rate for it and a set amount of hours and kind of some deliverables. And as it grew, she just grew with it, sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. So basically every quarter we reevaluate
steps. Two huge missing steps. So step number one that we need to talk about is you're so clear on your avatar. So when we did our talk the first time around, I took the cliff notes and turned it into part of a talk that I gave throughout last year. And one of the things that when I went back and listened to it, that was that you do really well. And some of the other guests on here is you're so clear on who you're targeting. So explain who you're targeting. It should be really obvious. If you spend 2 seconds looking at Cassie's feed, you'll figure it out. That was part of the actual talk. I just put 2 photos of your Instagrams, who's she targeting, and would ask the crowd. And it was very,
what did they
clear.
say?
They would say women, they would say moms, they would say people who are not gym rats, those type, that was the general kind of comments that we'd get from the peanut gallery.
Cool. Great. I love it. Basically just your everyday human who exactly that. They're looking to use fitness as a tool to better their life, but not looking to spend their life in the gym. So our programs very much are catered towards those 2 to 3 hours per week. And very important to us that we represent all body shapes, sizes.
Yeah. The only abs I see on the feed right now are yours.
Usually my stomach's never showing. Really?
I mean, we can pull up the tape.
Miss Jacqueline Owens. She likes a good sports
stomach.
bra.
Where were we? Oh, that's the same person. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, Cherise. Okay, a couple sports bras.
There it is, and then there we go. Some swimsuit shots from Mexico. That
was a team retreat.
In Mexico, you did another retreat in Mexico.
That was a spa. That was in Ontario. We took the team to.
Is Mexico a client of yours? I wish. They're paying you to go there?
I wish.
All right, cool. And so I guess if you're...
our feed looks so good. I love our feed. Sometimes I just open my phone and just scroll our feed and screenshot it and send it to my team and say, look how amazing our feed looks.
Your niche is pretty clear. What if you're a sports performance, you're James Pratt, a sports performance training guy, or what if you're doing
I love that episode.
Hockey or something? How would you go about thinking about something like that for your average suburban based gym?
Yeah, I think it's even easier in my opinion to do from a sports performance standpoint or kids, because your avatar actually is much more dialed down, where we're really trying to represent all different types of bodies. So in general, I just feel like if someone to get started, you want to set out what the visuals look like that represent who you are. And then you want to be very clear on either what your values are or what your services are and what those visually look like. Come up with a couple images to represent those. I shared in my presentation in Vegas that we have a deck that teaches people exactly what visuals look like to represent our values and to represent our services. So once you kind of understand what those visually look like, then you can create I would just jump on the 4 week cycle system and really trying to plan those things in advance and lock them in to a consistent schedule and never miss those dates. Do you want me to give you an Instagram tip? This podcast needs an Instagram account.
That sounds like another, like just doing the podcast is really hard. Just doing the podcast, doing a newsletter, it's hard. Like I'm trying to get Teo to have an Instagram account, much less Teo. I'm trying to get Teo to just add the things that he's tagged in by customers and fans and me, his friend and neighbor and business partner, just like push the button to add to his feed. And I can't even get him to do that. You think we're going to create a Gym World worldwide Instagram account and manage that thing?
I did like the thing you had, Cassie, where it's like, here's the schedule, and then everyone just has to film the thing, and then someone else posts it. Someone just tells me what to film. It'd be great. Be awesome.
Yes. Honestly, even for myself, as someone who enjoys creating content, that just makes my life a million times easier. So there you go. Maybe John should start planning out what you should post.
Yeah, that will turn out really good. Yeah, that will be great. It's a good idea.
So for someone who's like not doing a great job, who's inconsistent or doesn't have a brand or a strategy, we talked about finding your avatar. What's the next step? Right? Because you have this system. Like a lot of people will be like, oh, I have to do social media. And they'll do what you do. It's like, oh, hey, coach, you have an Instagram. You want $25 an hour to do mine? And that's like the extent of the planning. It seems like this is a lot more successful because you had this huge system built out. And it's like, here are the things that you need to do in order to produce content that pushes the gym forward. Like, how would you go about building that system, or where would you go about like finding a system like that, or iterating if someone is, starting from scratch here?
Are we talking about a one person or a small team?
I would assume the average gym who's listening to this is probably 1 to 2 full-time staff members and 1 to 2 part-time staff members.
Okay, cool. You said big system, but I feel like it's not that big of a system. If you can map out 2 hours a week, specifically, ideally as a team coming together, those 2 hours a week, so 8 hours in total a month, really can map you a consistent 4-week content calendar. And then I would just break out each of those 2-week blocks would have a different theme to them. That's what I would say the next step is. Once you understand who you're marketing to and how you represent yourself visually, it's just putting those time blocks in place to then actually do the thing. Do you think I'm missing something in between?
I have no clue. I'm trying to, so for us, for Kilo, we don't actually we just create a test, like our Instagram feeds are literally just testimonials. We don't do anything for it now. So we're at like, we need to go to step 2 here. So what do we, we get the people together. We get the tastemakers together. What are we doing in this 2-hour meeting? Great.
Monday, you're coming together 1:00. From 1 to 3, you're not even, we only use a 30-minute block. We could use as long as you want. You are brainstorming anywhere from 8 to 12 pieces of content. So you can scroll your reels, you can go to your favorite pages and see what brands are doing. You can go look at things that you saved or you're engaged with. That's obviously stuff that you really like. And in that first 2-hour meeting or 30-minute meeting, depending how much of that time you use, you're just going to come up with the concept ideas. Then that's week 1. Following that meeting, you need to decide, is it going to be humans in that content that you're going to be creating it? Or is someone going to create the content on graphics, for example? I highly recommend Reels. So actually putting humans behind the brand, I think we all know will perform much better than a static post at this point. So between now and the following session, one person become responsible for actually solidifying the ideas and writing out the actual nitty gritty of what that will take to bring it to life. So if, for example, you want to do Teo, day in the life, you want to show what your founders are up to. That person who's in charge of the step-by-step is actually going to write out the 6-step shot list that Teo is going to do to bring that to life. And when you come in, any questions?
No, I'm just
with you so far.
This is what Teo's doing. He's just in my backyard, cold plunging.
This is your backyard?
Yeah.
Sick. So by the time you come back to week 2, whoever was responsible for solidifying all the idea phase is now going to present to the team what the final pick of the content is going to be and what the exact shots are needed. The third week, so it's a simple meeting, 10 minutes max, maybe 20. The third meeting, the third week, you're actually going to shoot together. So this takes like a full 2 hours. Ensuring everyone comes camera ready, hair, makeup or not. Make sure your clothes are ironed. If you're shooting 2 months, like if you're shooting ahead of schedule, make sure you're wearing clothes that are fitting for the time that you're actually shooting for, and have tripods handy, have lighting handy, and just go to town. We like to go in partners, and we'll shoot 1-for-1 to give someone a break. And then at the end of that, all of the content will get pooled into an AirDrop, shared album, or Google Drive that then go back to that one person who's responsible for content. And then we use that one person who then is going to piece it together and create the text on it so that it all can stay up to brand standards and consistent.
Sorry, that first week where you're coming up with the content, like for the reels, like, so it's not like long form. These are just like short little snippet ideas is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Super
like
short.
how baked is the idea at that point?
How baked is the idea? Like three tips to get more protein in. 3
And
forms. That's it. So in the idea section, but by the time you come back in week 2, you would know exactly. You're gonna have someone pouring a scoop of protein. You're gonna have someone opening up a package of boiled eggs. You're gonna have someone taking a bite of a chicken sandwich. So you'll actually know what the meat is of those content pieces.
What about scripting? Are you guys scripting some of that stuff? Like, here's how to get more protein in your day. It's really difficult. Step 1, try this at the grocery store. Step 2, throw out all packaged stuff. Step 3, blah, 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 blah. Like, is someone doing that or no?
Yeah, it depends. I would say the most simple form is no. I would say the most engaging form is probably yes. So we'll have Sarah even write out the script of what that voiceover will look like. So when a coach shows up, every single thing they need to do is done for them. And it takes Sarah. So the one we just did this previous Wednesday, Sarah did an exceptional job. So I asked her how long it took to go into it. She said it took her 4 hours to prep. That's really not that much time to nail out everything from the visuals, the concept, the visuals, and the voiceovers.
You're obviously active. Like, do your coaches play a part, like their personal pages? Do you help them make stuff? Do they create stuff that's on brand? Like, are they involved in the themes as well? Or are you just thinking about the brand account?
This is specifically the brand account. But one of the reasons why we love doing the idea section, the ideating week, is because we want coaches to want to co-collab with the content that they make. So it goes up in All Day Fit, but if you actually pull up the All Day Fit account, we try to have as many co-collabs as possible. So if previously, before we had the coaches involved with the ideating section, they were like, I don't actually want this on my feed. It doesn't like match with my vibe. So probably since we last spoke, we've actually changed that process, and the full team is contributing ideas of things they would want in their feed.
So give me one of them. Where's someone who's?
Oh, you're probably past 1 million.
All right.
Yeah, co-collab. So that testimonial specifically is speaking about their experience training with Len.
Got it. And so, I mean, he's looking pretty on brand here. He looks like he's a lot of collab content. So basically it's like, hey, you're making this stuff. Why don't we work together to weave it into what we're doing? So we both grow.
Yeah, exactly.
Benefits, you get more clients, we get testimonials. Looks awesome.
People helping
Exactly.
People
People loving people,
people.
helping people.
Yeah, there
I
we
mean, I
go.
love
We
this
even
one.
got the link to the Strong Academy. Boom.
Yeah.
And so, is this still your primary? Is this still your primary enrollment? Like, are you still doing enrollments based off of dates? So you can't like sign up at any given time. You have to join in a cohort.
Yeah, we are. Did I talk to you about that last year?
Yeah.
That is officially changing as of January. So we're
What's
So
the
going to
you heard
plan?
it
do,
here first.
yay!
What's the plan?
So basically, our memberships will be a 3-month join, and then you go into an auto renew every 4 weeks. We'll do big pushes for the season, but our goal with this is to have a lot higher retention. Our retention is even good, but we think that it's definitely a flaw in our system. So that's
So
changing
what's
for
the
us.
offer? Like a 90-day journey, a 90-day all-day fit transformation, 90-day content extravaganza? What is it? What's the offer?
Build the consistency of training. So the offer is that our big marketing tends to be, are you tired of stopping and starting, which is very common in fitness? Find a program you'll actually stick to. Try it for 90 days and we'll show you the system.
So what's it called?
Strong Academy.
Oh, it's just 90 days. Okay, I see.
It's just going to go
I
into
understand.
a rolling. It's just rolling
gotcha.
versus now. It's
Where
like you got to
before-
start January 1st.
I understand now. I got you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then is it full price? Everybody's got to start paying the full price, or you do like LBOs or anything like that?
We don't do LBOs.
Love that for you.
Yeah. Also might be a detriment, but it's working for us.
No, I think it's cool.
See,
I'm here for it.
I just know that's popular in your corner of the world and of the fitness world, that everybody over there likes doing LBOs. And
I mean, we never really did. We did a 6-week
them.
challenge, and it was like,
Full
cool.
price
What's like
6-week
is there a
challenge.
discount? It's like, yeah, it's just the full price of what we normally charge for personal training and 4 weeks of classes. Like 2 weeks of personal training and 4 weeks of classes. This is what we normally charge, and this is what you're going to pay when you first start. And that's what we did.
That sounds like us.
Yeah, that's what we did.
We're looking
That's
for
fine.
people who are committed, people who want to be there. So it has worked for us.
And so, how are you selling? Let's talk about in January. Is it all like, I know you were saying a lot of it happens through DMs. Is that still the case?
Combination. A lot of it happens through storytelling within Reels, Instagram stories, and then from clients or potential members engaging with content. We will then capture a contact and we'll take it from a DM now to a phone call or an email. There is definitely closing that happens in DMs, but we're trying to now gather a phone number or email. Just in case that conversation doesn't go anywhere, we have another way to warm them up through our texting platforms or our email strategy.
So you're doing stories, you're trying to get people to respond to the story, and then that's how you...
Yeah, that's the goal. The goal is to get them from engagement of content into a lead.
Got it. And everybody is, and you're still, anybody who follows you DM them, say what up.
Yep. We haven't automated that yet. There are a lot of do you know any platforms that actually automate that?
The actual, like, once they
From
follow?
the Instagram, you're saying, right? Like once they
Yeah,
follow, they like or
some
follow.
accounts you can follow or comment and you'll automatically get a response.
For comment, like all the stuff that John Goodman does, that's ManyChat is what he uses, I think.
Yeah, that's a very expensive platform.
No.
Really? I was told 10K USD starting out per month.
Per month?
Yeah, that's what I was
What kind
told.
of volume? What kind of volume are you doing over there, Cassie Day?
Well, that's why I didn't sign up for that. I heard that like comment in the story is an insanely high price point.
Oh, comment in the story, I don't know, but comment in the post. Yeah, $15 a month.
Oh.
I think you got fleeced.
Unless you needed that custom premium plan. That
I think
need
you
to
got
talk to
that. I
sales.
think you got that influencer deal.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay. Maybe this isn't the exact one that I heard about through someone else.
Yeah, I don't know. So we're still trying to post 3 times a week. So we're not at this stage yet, but I know a lot of people
What
use
is the
this.
challenge to posting 3 times a week? Where's the hard part for you?
For the brand,
Yeah.
just
personal.
everyone's at the like weeping point. Like as your company grows and you don't spend more money on resources, it just means everybody just gets more tired and more tired and more tired. And so Mateo and I have been doing that for 8 years now, and we're really tired. And so I think that would be the biggest hurdle is that, just being I'm in my late 30s. Teo, how old are you now? You're 33?
I'm like 47.
Yeah.
I'm like 47 years old.
And Teo suffers from that low E.
Yeah, I'm 47. I was shocked when Uncle Greg was on and he said he was almost 50. And I was like, what? How?
Yeah.
How? He was a nightlife promoter.
What would you say? Like I post on my personal 3 times a week. That was the goal this year. And I did it. And then the brand account we post, but it's not, it's just testimonials. So we don't have like a brand strategy, and we don't have a marketing department, like a zero marketing department.
You're the marketing department.
Exactly.
And John already has a marketing job somewhere else. That's not at Kilo. So therein lies some of the rub. But yeah,
Yep.
That's part of it. People are tired. Not me though. I take those nicotine packs, and I'm always rocking and rolling. I'm sucking those down every day. And I cold plunge regularly. So.
Ashwagandha, Zen, and cold plunges. That's it.
Yeah.
That's that
Key to eternal life.
Yeah, that SAS Kingpin regimen, the supplement stack.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So what's the dream? What's the goal? You're a gazillionaire gym owner now. Are you going to open 10 of these? Are you just going to keep going to Mexico? Like what's the dream?
Why would she do that? She's taking like more than a month of paid time off. Why would she make the mistake of opening 10 of them?
Well, it seems everyone's doing it these days. So that's why I just want to know what this marketing machine, this marketing
she's doing
brain
brand
of yours.
Deals with Pfizer. She's got that big pharma money.
Oh, is that the play? That's fine. That's why I'm asking. I'm trying to learn more.
She's got that straight up big pharma money.
That is my personal brand side. This is a really great question. I am in an exploratory phase right now of figuring out what's next. So
who are your mentors? Who are you talking to? Who's the brain trust? Are you trying to figure this out?
Do you want to come do the marketing at Kilo? I'm tired.
I feel the opposite of tired. I feel full of life, ready to go. I'm having a rebirth over here. I just don't know what the birth is yet.
Yeah.
There you go. It's all that Canadian Tylenol. It's all that Canadian Tylenol, that Pfizer money. That's what's up.
No, Cassie's like about to answer my question. Stop distracting her with drugs.
Distracting her with her?
Yeah.
I love it. I've worked with them for the last 3 years. What was my next step?
Yeah, where are you going with this? You're going to open more of them?
Yeah.
So I was just telling a mentor yesterday that this is the first time, which is extremely confusing to me, that I felt kind of lost, because my vision for All Day Fit was basically painted up until where I am now. And I'm sitting at the end of where my vision has been visioned, and I have to figure out the next step. So currently we're operating out of a shared space, which I've shared previously. It's called Training Lane. Her original vision was to open multiple of these, and my vision was to run the training side and move into these spaces with her. That has not panned out the way that was originally expected. Her one place is going strong, but I don't think that there'll be other spaces. So since we've last spoken, there's been a lot of conversations trying to figure out if I open an All Day Fit gym or not, or if we expand into other shared spaces in Toronto, or if we completely offer a new service that we're not offering that doesn't require in person. In 2024, I hope that when I'm back on here, I can tell you.
You should just do the content makeover, Cassie's content makeover.
What's that going to be? Where you teach people how to do content?
You just fix gym owners' Instagrams everywhere.
And then you could film that as a reality TV show. So you're making content about making content for people who want to make content.
Yeah. I don't know how well that would do.
These are free tips. You can take them. You feel free to run them.
Or send them right back. Or you can send them right back. Yeah.
So basically, whether you go deeper into brick and mortar or try and go remote, that's the rub right now.
Yeah. Do I want to make the move and sign my own lease in Toronto is what I'm debating right now. You two used to own a gym.
We used to own
Yes.
5.
What do you recommend?
Not owning 5.
Yeah. I was just going to say, like, you have this content, you have stuff I feel like is well positioned to do well, to sell online or virtual, training or products or content, like, because you already have that. You're already selling people via DM, like, to come indoors. You could just sell them to stay at home and buy this other thing I've got. Or I don't know. It just seems like with your marketing machine, you could do, you could do anything. You could do anything.
How deep are you
want.
into this? You're 3 years in terms of like
7.
renting lanes and stuff.
3.
3? Yeah. And your business has grown how much in that time?
We've grown like 8% every year minus COVID times. So a lot.
Okay.
Well, I lied, not a lot, because that literally was COVID times.
And I'm assuming pretty healthy profit margin.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure you're making a little scroll from your from Tunnel Canada and brand deals and stuff.
That's separate business. Yeah.
Sure. But then, like, what's the rush? Like, I think so. One of the big mistakes that I made early in my journey was that, like, I didn't realize I had a good thing going until I had effectively screwed it up. And a lot of gym owners make this mistake. I see it over and over and over again. Like, owning a gym is hard. Owning a 7-figure gym is really hard. Owning a profitable 7-figure gym is insanely hard. Owning a profitable 7-figure gym that allows you to travel for 6 to 8 weeks out of the year and do brand deals on the side, like, that is cream of the crop. And so while I'm not saying, like, stagnate, stop, don't challenge yourself, like, a lot of people will then go, okay, I'm going to go open 10 and then take on a bunch of risk and then stress themselves out and then realize, oh, I had this, like, low risk cash flow machine that if I just, like, let it run for a while, like, the universe would have brought me more opportunities. And like, a lot of people just rush it. Like, you're going to be working for what, 30, 40 more years? Like, you got some time. Like, why not just, like, let it ride, like, just let it naturally grow 8 to 10% for a year or two and then see what the world throws at you.
Okay. I love those wise words. I don't know if I can just patiently sit and wait, but we'll see.
Well, do something that's low. Like, I don't know. Don't take on something that's like a 5 to 10 year. Well, I don't know what your goals are in your life vision. So, I don't want this to turn into a therapy session, but, like, don't feel rushed to go do another thing because your current things are working well.
Okay, I love that advice.
Like, a lot of times, if you just keep doing the thing that's working longer, it just keeps working better and better in ways that are, like, weird and mysterious. And that is probably what, the lesson from the second go around after I sold the gyms to this thing right now that we're doing. It's just like, there are plenty of opportunities and things to chase after, but, like, the more we just kind of do this, the better it gets. And, like, 2025, we might have an Instagram. Like, if you believe, we might have that bandwidth to post on Instagram.
Have you had anyone on here talking about TikTok strategy?
No.
You got
Do you have a TikTok strategy?
No, but I'm 2 years behind on that one. So I feel like TikTok, how you two feel about Instagram.
Well, I mean, we're lucky in that we get clients other ways, right? Like, it's not a critical thing. My day job provides us with plenty of clients, which is nice. It's not a primary thing, but it's one of those things like you and TikTok right now, where it's like, we're going to wake up in 3 years and, like, regret not like investing time into media a little bit more. So the feeling is we don't have the resources, but we have stuff that works, so we're just going to keep focusing on that. But like, kind of how you feel is like FOMO. But like, why wouldn't you just take your reels and put them on TikTok? Why is that wrong? Why is that the wrong answer?
That's not the wrong answer. That's the right answer. But that's as simple as me telling you just to post on Instagram. But it feels hard.
Well, don't you have someone? Couldn't she just post it on TikTok?
I know. She's just also very similar to what you said, at capacity. So we'll need to hire some new humans.
There you go. You got the same struggles. You got the same struggles as Kilo. It's just everyone's tired, except for Cassie. Use all that energy to open a TikTok. There you go. That's what you can do. You can reinvest.
Low risk, high reward.
Yeah, low risk, high reward. Sounds way less risky than taking on a lease in Toronto. Isn't it like a bit like I read something that it was like it could have been like a Doomer Twitter thing, but it was saying that like Toronto might be in like one of the largest real estate bubbles like all time.
Yes. I don't mean if it is a bubble, like I'm in the same vortex because I've also seen the same headlines.
Yeah, isn't it? I feel like it's like the most sketchy time to buy stuff in Toronto or take on like a massive lease, right? Isn't like everybody calling for it to just bottom out at some point?
They are saying that.
I'd wait to open 10 gyms, and when that happens, once the rug gets pulled, that's when you want to open the 10 gyms.
Yeah, to be clear, when I asked what's next, are you building more? Yeah, I don't think you should do that either. I just assumed you were because everyone we've had on is already doing 10. But to John's point, yeah, I think just keep going to Mexico. That's kind of my advice.
I mean, what do you think,
TV.
Teo? You were, I said my piece. What's your observation as someone who went through a similar journey?
Yeah, I agree with what you said is, smell the roses a little bit. Is that what they say? Slow down. And others have said this too, right? We like to put our hand back in the machine and tinker with stuff when if it ain't broke, we just had someone else say that like 3 times on the podcast. If it ain't broke, just keep rocking and rolling, I think. But you can fix our Instagram because that is broke. You can fix that if you want. If you're looking to tinker, you can fix that.
There was our original gym was awesome. Teo wasn't around for that. He came on for the second one as a coach and then a manager later on down the road. But like that original my first gym, it was just like a very special time where like most of the people involved in that have gone on to become, to find success in other things. But like a lot of us, like we still text regularly, like all the people were like on a text chain this week and we reminisce on like, that was a special time. And I don't think we really like appreciated it. And it would have been something that would have carried on a little longer if we, to Teo's point, were just, appreciated, like looked around and said, here's where the industry is, here's where we are. Let's let this ride for a little bit and then give ourselves space to figure out what's next. And as an entrepreneur, like no one's wired like that. It's very hard.
Exactly that. And then you went from 2 to 5. Is there an episode where you two talk about your journey?
I've talked about it on other ones.
We just try and interject our story into everybody else's podcast. This is gonzo journalism.
I think if you find like various episodes of me on Two Brain, John on Two Brain, me on BFU, John on BFU, this podcast, other ones, you can probably piece it together. You can probably follow the breadcrumbs and get
You two need to record an episode of your journeys up until this point.
I think it's too much trauma.
Yeah.
Too much. Yeah. Too many tears, too much fraud, too many criminals. Like there's too much. It's too dark.
Too many scars.
All the good stuff's now with Cassie Day and with Kilo and Gym World. Yeah.
Now it's all working.
This is the time.
It's all working wonderfully.
It's all working
it just
now.
Took 10 years to get here.
Too many people went to jail. We lost a lot of good men.
we lost a lot of good people. They were actually terrible people, but
people died. It's
literally, actually,
literally died.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't talk about it, Cassie, and it's very hurtful that you would even bring it up.
I stopped laughing. I don't know if you noticed. I'm not sure if I should or shouldn't laugh.
It's okay. This is how we heal.
This
Through
group therapy
laughter.
session. All right, so media.
After my last episode, so many people messaged me asking me for our calendar.
How much did you charge them?
Fan of Gym World's fan of mine. And I handed it out.
I told you. You're like, this isn't going to work. I'm like, hey, look, there's just people in your DMs just asking for that coaching, asking for that extra day. So the calendar is huge. That's the main thing. If you are a boutique owner, gym owner who wants to be more like you, what other tidbits, what other secret sauce do you have that you can give to the gym world?
For social media specifically?
No, you can go wide. We got to peek into the calendar. I think people are going to get a lot of value out of that.
What do I think we're crushing? I think we're crushing content, and I think we're crushing team huddles.
I was going to
And
say
the way
staff. I feel like your staff
Yeah.
is very happy and likes you and each other. That's just
Yeah.
the 2 times I've interacted with them. That's the vibe I get.
Have an amazing team. I think a lot of that comes from, like, I say the huddle because we work of a shared space. We're not always all together. So every Wednesday we get together for 1 to 2 hours, depending on the week. And a lot goes into them. Actually, Mike Boyle was just speaking at BFU retreat, and he was speaking about how valuable his weekly team meeting is. And I asked him, my burning question was, how long does it take you to prep for those meetings? Because for me, it's taking minimum 4 hours a week. And he told me 2 to 4 hours. So it's very nice to hear someone who's a goat in the industry say it's also taking him that much effort to go into his team huddles, and see that he also values that as being a huge part of his success. I would say the same about All Day Fit.
And is that what allows you to have a good lifestyle? Do you think the team is a big part of that?
Huge, huge, huge. I think team is everything. I think my team in general is also what keeps me going and motivated as an entrepreneur, is I'm surrounded by people that I genuinely enjoy to work with and want to hang out with.
But it seems like you're enjoying yourself right now. If you're thinking about doing stuff that's going to break your business, that means you're having a good time right now. It's usually a signal. So like, how are you like managing your lifestyle stuff? You mentioned the trips. Like, do you have some type of system you're following to be like a healthier, more balanced human being, or was the trips like the only thing?
I would say 4 things: training, not 5 hours a week for myself. I walk to and from work, so I get outside. I sleep 8 hours every single night, and I plan adventure, which is the thing that fills my soul, on a weekly basis within Toronto, and then a quarterly basis where I leave Toronto.
You recently were in Othership, right? Was that an adventure?
Othership's epic.
Yeah. Can you explain that to people what that is?
So it's a cold plunge sauna, 20,000 square foot facility in Toronto. They're a quickly growing brand. I think they've been around for 1 to 2 years. They would be amazing to have on the podcast. They're expanding across in New York City. I know that's coming very soon. But the concept is, in 75 minutes, you go through a lead-it session from an instructor where you go from hot to cold over that duration of time. And it's I personally love it. You feel like you're not in the city. And it's like one of the few places where I actually forget about the outside world and really am giving back to myself for the full hour. 75 minutes. This is them.
So it's like a night. Hold on, you said 75 minutes.
75, yeah.
And are you like dance? Yeah, like what is this? Are you like dancing and chanting and stuff? Like what are you?
I think in the classes that I've been to, I was not dancing. I have done chanting. It depends on who your instructor is and what the theme of the class is.
What's like the average age in one of these?
Late 30s, I would say.
Really? Like dads
Yeah.
and stuff? And is everyone this good looking?
Yeah.
Or is this curated? I feel like
that's just like Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto's pretty good looking.
Toronto's a pretty good looking city.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm putting it a little bit too high. Maybe late 20s to late 30s. I think you get a
late
couple of
20s.
extremes.
It's very different, late 20s to late 30s. Very,
I
very
know, but they
different.
have a lot of owners, and I feel like owners tend to attract the demographic. And I think because there's such a wide span of ages in their owners, they have quite a different range of who they bring in. I don't know how many owners there are. I believe minimum 3, upwards of 10.
And what? For one facility?
Just, you have to have them on the podcast. I don't know.
And so do you think this is like a fad, or do you think there's something to this and there's going to be one of these in every suburb?
I think they're going to be everywhere. I already know of 2 to 3 competitors that are opening up in the city here alone. I was told they're all over New York City. I think that it's
I
going to
know
be.
there's a ton of money. Like people are dumping money
Yeah,
into stuff and copying this. I think
money.
they're all uber expensive. Like every one of them seems built out to the hilt. And I know a couple people in Brooklyn, like I saw one opening in Brooklyn. I just like wonder if this is just like something that only appeals to people in New York and Toronto with a ton of disposable income, or if this is, you put one in Spokane or Kansas City, Missouri, and people are going to be into it too.
I was told that their vision is to go all across the East Coast of the States. So I guess we're going to see what that looks like.
Looking forward to seeing how this played out. What's another example of like, you hope what?
Can you have them on Gym World, or is it only gym owners or just community builders?
I mean, this would count. They're in there. So
okay, you should
put
definitely
the intro. Give us an intro, and we'll get them on.
Done. They are crushing it in Toronto right now. When it comes to community building and partnerships, crushing.
All 10 of them too. Actually, we'll just go to Toronto, and then all of it. We can do a live one from the sauna.
That sounds amazing. Mateo has to be in the cold plunge doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go numb. Just go comatose.
I mean, you're pretty numb.
Okay. Toronto visit, get that flight booked.
What's like another example of like a weekly adventure? Because the Jesse Itzler is like a guy who's pretty popular, who does like something similar, where he's like talking about like you have to have these like mini adventures and these bigger adventures, so your life isn't like boring. Like, what's an example of another like weekly thing you do to get out there? Where does he share that at? The internet.
Okay.
I'll send you some stuff on the internet.
Yeah, send it to me. Other ships one, and dance classes are another. So I started doing dance classes this summer, which is completely out of my comfort zone. Yeah. Do not put that on this episode.
The B-roll, you mean? Oh, it's already it's coming across right here.
Basically, I had never danced in my life. I grew up playing hockey. Still, instructors are like, you kind of move like you're lifting. You got to like loosen up. But when I was on The Amazing Race, I think I mentioned this before, but I always rated my happiness level at the end of the day. And it was always the days where I was doing things I'd never tried before, where my happiness level was the highest. So when I left the race, I kept telling my therapist, how can I recreate that feeling? So I've been trying things that I've never tried before, and dancing was one of them. And it's been fun. I'm hoping to go tonight at 6:30.
Haven't you been to like 50 Drake concerts or something like that?
Yeah, 13.
You don't dance at those?
Yeah, I dance, but it's not like a performed performance.
Okay. Got it. Mateo's wife is a dancer. So
formerly, yeah.
A former dancer at a very high level. So, if she comes on the Toronto trip, she'll have some pointers for you in the sauna.
Amazing. I can't wait. It's going to be a great time.
So Cassie, this has been wonderful as always. Always bring the heat. Always bring the value. Where do people go? And the joy. Just lifting us up on this gloomy Friday afternoon. Where do people go if they want to learn more about Cassie Day?
CassieDayy is my personal on Instagram. 1 Y and 2 I was taken. So I went with 3. Or alldayfit.co for the business. And like the last episode, slide in our DMs if you actually want to see a copy of the content, Cal, and we'll happily send it over your way.
And if you are a mogul, Cassie's looking for opportunities. So if you got some high value opportunities, send them her way.
Ozempic other ship concept. Yeah.
We're all about that.
putting this into the universe. Something big's coming. I
Yeah.
just don't know what it is yet.
That's it for
Sick.
this week's Gym World Worldwide. We will
That's
talk to you
it.
next week, Gym World. But you
Bye.
know, if you can, do us a favor, like, subscribe, leave a nasty comment, and we'll appreciate you for a long time.